Hello and welcome to On the Couch with Steve, a podcast where we help you navigate the often complex world of buying and selling real estate here in the Ipswich real estate market. I'm Steve Athanates. I'm the owner of NG Real Estate here in Ipswich. I'm joined today by a great friend, Matt Taylor-Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Matt, how are you? Good to see you.
Yes.
Now, mate, a bit of an unusual one. We've had some feedback from some of our podcast viewers,
Yes.
and even some feedback from current potential clients about some of the things that we're seeing in the real estate market currently being undertaken by real estate agents.
Yes.
Okay, so you know it's a really competitive market.
Yes.
It's unusual.
Yeah. Well, obviously, as we've been talking about on the last couple of podcasts, the market's continuing to climb here in Ipswich. We're seeing that, and obviously it's going to get more competitive. There's also a lot of newer agents to the market and agents in the area who have obviously got in while there's a boom. But obviously, as you alluded, we're seeing some feedback and some things in the market, and you guys are seeing it on a day-to-day basis, I would imagine too, around potentially other agents and whatnot. And we thought we'd jump on and do a podcast about what consumers can do to validate what they're being told by other agents and make sure that they protect themselves, I guess.
I agree.
So I'll let you fire away, because I know you got all the info, but
yes. Well,
what are you seeing?
Well, what we'll do is we'll give it some context. Now, we've talked about this a lot on the podcast. We've got a rising market, which is being fueled by demand. The demand is being pushed on by the fact that there's 43% less listings on the market right now than there was even a year ago. So what we're seeing is, I guess, some real estate agents resorting to some, let's say, questionable tactics in relation to claims about I guess their abilities in the market. The number one thing that we see at the moment is agents claiming that they're the number one selling agent either in the whole of Ipswich or in a particular suburb, where they're saying, I'm the number one selling agent in, I'll pick a suburb, Raceview.
Yes.
Okay, I'm the number one selling agent in Raceview, and they'll put this often in writing. They're definitely verbalising it to a potential client with a view to persuading them to give them the listing based on the fact that they are the number one. They're the top selling agent.
Yep.
Only problem is
they're not.
It's not true.
Yes. And
we're seeing it happening quite a lot. Like I said, it got raised as a question because obviously people are experiencing it. And what they're saying is look, how do we verify that what the agent is telling us
is the truth?
Is even close to the truth. Yep. And I guess there's, like I said, there's a few things that are happening. We'll talk about all of them, but this seems to be one of the major things that agents at the moment, some agents, and definitely none from NG Real Estate here in Ipswich, but some agents are resorting to, and I think it's based on almost desperation.
Yes.
They're looking for listings. They think the only way they can get them is to tell people that they're the number one selling agent when it's not true.
Yeah.
All right. So what could a consumer do at home? There's sites like Rate My Agent.
Yeah, which, to be honest with you, until I started working with you and doing some work for you, I didn't know about that site. So I'm quite confident that a lot of our consumers in this market wouldn't know what Rate My Agent is. I always thought of realestate.com and Domain and all of the key ones. So,
well, look, I'd say realestate.com is definitely a credible source in terms of listing statistics, right? So they'll show you how much someone has listed, but realestate.com doesn't tell you whether an agent is the number one performing agent within a suburb, within a region like Ipswich or something like that. So you can go to a site called Rate My Agent. All right. So you just type in Rate My Agent, it'll come up with their website, and you can search by agency, by agent, or by location. All right.
Yes.
Now, let's say, for example, you had 2 agents or 3 agents come in to appraise your home. They're all going to tell you something hopefully similar, but sometimes it can be wildly different. Prices can swing. There can be major variations in terms of commission. And the other thing I guess we see in this market is a lot of agents feel the only way they can compete against the more credible agents is to have a really low commission. So sell with me, because I'll do it real cheap. Now, I guess we've all heard the analogy, and God forbid if we ever had a brain injury, do we jump in the yellow pages and say, who's the cheapest brain surgeon on the market?
Yeah,
because that's who I want to touch my brain.
Yes.
Okay, no one would do that.
No.
Now, when we've got the largest asset we own in the whole wide world, which is our family home or investment property, do we want to sell it through someone because they're the cheapest?
No.
I would suggest no.
Yeah.
All right? Not a great tactic. So agents will try to compete on, I'm the cheapest agent, on commission, or this agent wants to charge you, say, $2,500 for marketing, which would be somewhere around what you'd expect to pay.
Yep.
But I can do it for $1,000. But you'll get all the same things as you were going to get with the agent who was charging $2,500.
Yes.
Well, here's a scoop. It's impossible.
Correct.
Because all agents in Ipswich and Queensland, for that matter, we all get the same rate for a particular product. And if it's a premier listing, which is one of the best listings you can get, every single agent gets it at the same price.
Correct.
Now, in Queensland, it's illegal to make money out of advertising, so we all have to sell it to you at our exact cost.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not making any money. It's illegal, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, if someone says, I'm going to offer you a premier listing, and so is this other guy who's charging $2,500, but I'm going to do it for $1,000, that's a lie.
Yes.
It's impossible to be done.
Yeah.
All right? So this is some of the behaviour that we're seeing from some of the agents where they're getting into an appraisal, okay? Possibly they've told you they are the best-selling agent in Raceview or Deebing Heights or Yamanto or Brassel, wherever you want to think about it. They're the number one selling agent. What you can do is you can go to Rate My Agent, you push on the agent button, okay, and you type that person's name in, and it's completely independent of real estate agents. It's not owned by any real estate company. It's completely independently researched.
Yes.
All right? So you can jump on there and it'll have a stat there where it tells you that agent's performance in the last 12 months.
Yes.
It'll tell you how many current listings they have and how many properties they've sold within the last 12 months. And you can do a direct comparison. You had the 3 agents in. You can see that someone's been in the industry for like 1 year. They've sold 6 homes, okay, over 12 months, which is, by the way, that's really bad. That's less than 1 a month. You couldn't survive on less than 1 sale a month. You would go broke real quick. One agent might have had 17 sales, okay, which is getting close to 1.5 a month.
Yes.
And let's say one agent had, I'll say, 48 sales in 12 months. Okay, so we can all do the maths.
Yes.
Okay, the agent that sells 48 in 12 months is obviously a lot more experienced, but has transacted a huge amount more. Now, the agent who sold 6 properties cannot be the number one selling agent in any suburb in Ipswich. Cannot be. It's impossible. So what we would encourage people to do to verify what an agent is telling you is go to an independent site and verify what the agent is telling you to make sure that you are getting the correct information. You know, like I said, it's a massive asset, Matt. You want to make sure that the person who's sitting across the table hasn't told you a massive porky pie the first time they met you.
Correct.
Okay, and Mum and Dad said if you tell a lie, you've got 2 choices. You can either come clean or you keep on telling more and more lies to cover the first one that you're told.
Yeah, and I guess that's the concern is, if you decide to go with that person and sell your home, if they've lied to you off the bat, what are they doing? What's that experience going to turn into when you sell your home? What uglies are going to rear their head during the selling process?
Correct.
That you don't want to deal with. So I think and back to your commission point, if they're quick to drop their commission, anyone will tell you in a selling world, if they're quick to drop their price, what are they going to do when they sell your home?
Well, that's right. When there's
are
an
they
objection,
getting the best value?
when there's an objection to price, the first they're saying, well, okay, well, I'll talk to the owner about reducing their price. However, the problem is under the Act, the agent represents the seller.
Correct.
And has to be seen to be doing everything in the seller's best interest.
Yeah.
So if you're telling the seller, hey, the buyer doesn't like your price, you should drop it, you cannot be acting in the seller's best interest.
Correct. Yeah.
So, again, major pitfall. The lesson out of this one is independently verify what the agent is telling you is true. Now, unfortunately, I hate to say it, this seems to be very, very prevalent in the market at the moment because a lot of the agents are struggling to get listings. So they will tell people whatever they think they have to in order to secure the listing.
Yes.
Some people are doing it verbally. I've actually seen an agent write it on the back of company stationery and put it in the letterbox, and then, you know, the owner's got it out, didn't list with that agent, shown me the card, and I'm going, uh-oh.
Yes.
That's really bad because the agent has actually put it in writing that they are the number one selling agent in that suburb, and it's not true.
Yeah.
It's actually a lie.
Yes.
So, again, we would never want to start a relationship with anyone based on a lie.
Yeah.
All right. So just something that I think people really need to be concerned about. Some of the other tactics that we've seen some agents in this marketplace come along with is that when they're competing for a listing, a lot of the times in today's market, you can go up against 2, 3, sometimes some people will get out 6 or 10 different agents.
Yeah, right.
Which would be confusing, but they'll get out 6 to 10 to see what people say. Now, some agents, believe it or not, because it is so competitive, once they're in the listing presentation, they're really pushy.
Yes.
Right? They're trying to pressure people into sign with me, sign with me, sign with me.
Yes.
Now, even if that person, you know, is sensible enough to say, well, hang on, this is a very important decision. I'm not going to be pressured into signing something today.
Correct.
If what you've said's good today, it'll still be good tomorrow. I'm going to think about it.
Yes.
Which is prudent, and we would encourage that. Right? So, but what these agents are then doing is, even if they can't get a signature on the spot, right, then the barrage of phone calls starts.
Yep.
You know, have you made a decision? Have you talked to your partner? Are you ready to go? When can I come around? Should I book in photos so that we can get started? Now, I've heard of instances where agents don't even have the listing.
Yes.
But they've rang the photographer, booked in the photos, only for the agent who got appointed to ring the same photographer to say, hey, I need photos at, I'll say, 5 Smith Street.
Yes.
And they're saying, oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Someone else has already booked those photos.
Wow.
So, and this is some of the pressure tactics that some agents are engaging in. I had something really quite shocking recently where a married lady, husband sort of works away, okay, has a couple of agents come and look at the property, decides, you know, I've got to speak to my partner, my husband, in relation to what we're going to do. Which is again extremely fair.
Yeah.
This other agent has basically then started the phone calls.
Yep.
And believe it or not, parked themselves out the front of the house.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
Trying to basically say to this lady who's home by herself, hey, I'm out the front of the house. If you wanted to do something and sign up, I'm just out the front. I could do it right now.
Yeah.
Now, that agent, obviously disgraceful behaviour, but the husband has actually come home whilst they're parked out the front and had to give him the marching orders and said, mate, get lost.
Yeah.
We'll make a decision. When we've made a decision, we'll contact you.
The thing that surprises me by that is, like, does he think that that's going to get him the listing now? Like,
well, I can tell you, it didn't.
No.
It didn't get him the listing. But what I can also tell you is then, even after he'd been given his marching orders, he's then handwritten a note on company stationery
Yes.
to the effect that, no one's going to work harder than me. I work 24/7 for my clients. I am the number one selling agent in your suburb, and, no one will do a better job than me.
Yeah.
Lie.
Yes.
A complete lie. So, the behaviour's gone one step further again, and then they've actually put it in writing.
Yep.
A lie. So, for the consumers, again, at home, any agent who engages in that sort of behaviour, disgraceful. Okay, we have a number of industry bodies that govern the behaviour of real estate agents.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of companies like myself, we are members of the Real Estate Institute of Queensland.
Yep.
Okay, our professional governing body that sets our standards of behaviour, okay, and governs what is acceptable behaviour on behalf of a real estate agent.
Yes.
So if the agent concerned has done any of these things that we've talked about to you today, and they're a member of the REIQ,
Yes.
you can make a complaint directly to the REIQ,
Yep.
okay, in relation to this agent's behaviour, and this agent can be sanctioned by the REIQ.
Yes.
Okay, we also have the Office of Fair Trading,
Yes.
which is the Queensland government. Okay, they're the statutory body that issues a real estate agent or a salesperson with a certificate of registration, or in my case, I'm a fully licensed real estate agent, so I can operate a trust account and own a real estate business.
Yep.
Okay, they issue our licenses.
Yes.
Okay, if you've done something that is so horrible or questionable, or in some cases unlawful,
Yes.
you can obviously be fined, you can lose your license, and if you've done something really bad, you can go to jail.
Yeah.
So, for people out there, if you have been unfortunate enough to be placed in a situation like this by a real estate agent, my first thing is I would say to you is, I'm so sorry. It is completely unacceptable that any agent
Agreed.
would do that to you.
Yeah.
So you have my sincere apology. The second thing is that you can take action.
Yes.
You can talk to the REIQ. If you can't get satisfaction there, I would recommend you go to the Office of Fair Trading
Yes.
and report that agent's behaviour.
100%, because if they're doing it to someone, the chances are they're doing it to all of their potential leads that they've got, or prospects.
Well, you got to think about
crazy.
it. In this society, we've got a lot of vulnerable people, let's face it.
Yep.
The situation I talked about was a female at home, definitely not saying she's vulnerable, but at the end of the day, a female at home by herself. Completely unacceptable, but the agent would be pressuring.
Correct.
We've got elderly people in society. Now, can you imagine? These people are probably stressed about the whole process, and then if they're placed under extreme pressure, okay, you only got to look at the amount of people who get scammed in today's society.
Correct.
Okay, but they've got someone who they think is credible,
Yes.
who is then pressuring them so badly into signing listing paperwork that sometimes that they may list
Just to get rid of it.
just to stop the pressure.
Yeah.
Because it's overwhelming and it's creating anxiety in their life.
Yes.
So again, lots of people who are either disadvantaged, or should be protected from this sort of behaviour. So all I would suggest to you is that if you have unfortunately had any of this behaviour occur to you, go to those professional bodies that we mentioned earlier, talk to them about the behaviour. It can be stopped. All right. So completely unacceptable. So all I can tell you is that for any agents out there who are doing this, they need to stop immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. There are consequences for their actions.
Agreed.
So, like I said, the only reason we're raising this subject today is we've had feedback from our viewers here on the podcast, and obviously in the lounge rooms and dining tables
Of what you've witnessed, yeah.
where we're seeing this, where people are saying,
Yes.
this is the behaviour that agents are engaging in.
Yeah.
Really sad.
Yes.
Really sad.
Agreed. I think it's terrible. So, and a good bit of awareness for consumers, and I think that Rate My Agent website is phenomenal to be able to actually provide consumers with real information, and I believe it goes right into like their average sales figures, all that sort of stuff. So
it does.
So everyone, you're now armed with a tool that allows you to research your agent and make sure that you're choosing the right agent for you to sell your property to get you the best possible outcome.
Correct.
So,
and honestly, seriously, it's a competitive business. I compete on a daily basis, but I don't care. It is what it is. You know, we're forced to compete, and an agent should be chosen on merit, and merit which is actually earned and true.
Yeah.
So, you know, if someone's telling you it's, you know, they're the number one agent and they're not, check it out.
Yes.
So, mate, bit of an interesting one, but like I said, I think
is.
it was one definitely worth covering. So, once again, big thank you to Matt from Purple Bunny Marketing.
Thank you for having me.
Now, guys, if you want some more feedback, you got any comments about what we've just discussed today, please click the link below. We're really interested in your feedback, remembering this session was driven by your feedback. I'm Steve Athanates. I'm from NG Real Estate Ipswich. If you'd like to have more content from us, tune into On the Couch with Steve, and we'll see you soon.